idea of how they want to kind of pinpoint this one. And oh, the Draven respect to Nori B. Just very like, nope, not dealing with that at all.
Yeah, you know, if we're gonna pay respects, then I feel like Zoe Bat needs to come through. The card was telling us that he has like perma against oh no, sorry, that's Samakin. Sorry, he's not playing.
Yeah,
I'm playing this right now. My bad. I thought,
Yeah.
So we should quickly run this down. Actually, blue side Fallen Drakes. Decoy is still playing. Kryra is in. Papa is stepping in here, and then you've got Sushi and Cryogen. And on the red side, it's the Blackbeards. You know, you've got Varric, who's stepping in. Shimmer, Titan still staying on, and Inori and Muzi. And Muzi's a player I really don't know anything about, so I'm very much looking forward to my first look at his support stuff.
You guys think we're gonna get a Kindred respect band this time around, or no?
Ooh. You know, I think so. I think we are.
No, I think we run again. I think the Skarner pick was fine. I think Shimmer had some really solid early ganks, which unfortunately we didn't catch quite on this stream, but I know you're talking about it. So I think there's still a chance. Like, I think the Skarner pick's still solid.
Yeah.
I want to see it run back.
Oh, the respect band, though. We are getting some respect bands. Getting that Jinx taken away from Sushi this time around. Saying, all right, not going to let you hyperscale into this game or even just play how they did last game with Cryogen, since they were able to get a lot of advantages for themselves early on. And I'm impressed to see that. They're just taking away some of these powerful picks. And where we looked at Sushi and Levitate in game one, Sushi and Ori B definitely has to be another one that we kind of keep our eyes on, as we know what Sushi is capable of. We've seen Onori B. He's been around for some time in the tier 3. And this is a player that does like to play really aggressively. So I would imagine that we're going to see a lot of bloodshed in this bot lane still, RMC.
Okay, so I was going to say, we don't see the respect Kindred bad. Do we see the first pick? No, it's just going to be a 0
Okay.
for Papa. It feels like, first of all, a solid pick for him, but also a bit of a deny away from Titan. I think Titan has been playing a lot of Azirs, so yeah, and it's a strong champion in general.
This game Varus is up, so I'm
surprised that Azir got picked over the Varus.
Yeah, and then with Jinx gone, that does make Zeri, like, if you are going for a team fight, the premier team fighting ADC. So I'm curious if we're just gonna see a team actually pick the Varus and try to play early game. Varus is also quite good into Azir. You can outrange it when most ADCs can't, unless you go on hit. But yeah, I'm curious if they just pick the Zeri or if they actually want to play early game with Varus.
Well, Ari gonna be picked up here for Titan, and I would imagine you just go the Varus here. Just grab that. Get that poke, have it so that you can kind of keep Papa at bay for some time. You have Ari for the engage if you need to. So it's pretty locked standard in this one. Nothing too exciting. But now this is the question. Kryra, are you going to go for your Kindred again? It is open. They've let you have it here in this game. They are kind of cycling through a bunch of different ADCs, but I would expect that probably he's going to be an ADC and then that Kindred picked up for them.
I mean, if you want to continue hiding your hand, as it were, you can just pick the AD carry here, because you already know it's embarrassing the other side. Okay, yeah, I saw the edge. Oh, okay. So interesting that Kryra is doing this now into Shimmer. Because Shimmer did it last game. Actually, Skarner top. Never mind.
Yeah, it could go top.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I'm looking at here. There is a possibility. We saw that Kalista for a second. I was talking about some of the spicy things you can do with Skarner is you can run Skarner bot lane. Dependent on what you have. Senna's another one. Thinkard, you were kind of talking about this one. Oh, there's the Kalista. It could be a Skarner bot lane.
Okay. I do like Kalista's here. Very solid draft. But yeah, you were saying how Skarner can ulti and the Kalista can yoink the Skarner out of there. I would be very surprised if that's what we're seeing this game, but it would be cool.
It can happen. It can happen. The thing is, with it, you're not actually going to pull someone the full distance. The wind-up timer with Impale, it doesn't last long enough of a suppress onto the 3 targets if you landed onto all 3. And then the pull animation from Fate's Call lasts too long that by the time you get the full distance, depending where you are as Kalista, you're only usually going to get like half the distance.
Okay. All right, we see the buy Ari, pretty standard. Buy Varus, very strong as well. So honestly, both comps looking pretty good. We got a bit of a dive, and we have front to back. So let's see.
Okay, well, we are getting that Renata Glosk band away. Pretty much saying I don't expect Cryogen's playing the Skarner bot lane. I would be surprised. You know, it's a spicy thing that I've tried out that it can work, but doesn't mean you should go it, right? There's the coulds and the shoulds. And honestly, I think you should go Skarner top. That is a strong pickup here, especially like looking at what Barrick likes to play, what we saw in a lot of the OQs. Of course, it was mostly Cassante out of Barrack during the OQs, and we have seen that Cassante had gotten quite a number of nerfs in the past couple of patches. So not as high priority, still can be played, but it won't do very well into Skarner.
We've seen a lot of support bans actually come through right now from both of these teams. I wonder if we could just continue seeing sort of the engaged supports taken out, and if we do, then okay, the respect ban.
Yeah.
So they are thinking to Skarner top then, because we are banning like a support and a jungle at this point.
Yeah, I would expect that Fryra wants to play something more aggressive, something that they're a little bit more comfortable on. Kindred would fall right into that one. Oh, okay, this Olaf. Actually, Olaf is pretty good up against Skarner top lane. I mean, so Olaf's pretty much good into most top laners, just because how much power he can have. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I think it's more of a skill matchup if that's what Barrack wants to go. Shimmer can still play this as well. We were talking about how when it came to Shimmer before and how they were playing for Reluminate, it was a good flexibility that they had with the jungle and top lane because they had a very shared champion pool. Of course, you're expecting the Olaf to go top lane, but it still holds on to that flex. It kind of hides what you want to go here for a little bit of time, even though you might want to go for the support here. I think I kind of like this one because you want to confirm if it's going to be that cheesy bot lane that we're talking about, the Kalista Skarner, or if it's going to be a more standard thing like Kalista Rel.
Okay, yeah. Rel got nerfed in jungle, so...
Edge, no jungle. Jungle Rel dead.
Yeah, so it's pretty much just support at this point. I kind of like it. I don't know really what support you can run here to like really mess up. I guess you could Alistair's still on the table if you want to use that to disengage. And now Fallen Drakes will have to kind of reveal all their flexing at this point. Like who's jungle, who's top. You know that's gonna be an Olaf top, so you're running the Skarner into it. Okay.
Okay. Honestly, if I have to imagine anything, I wonder if Muzi wants to just go Lulu here. Just something that can peel a little bit better. Kind of keep this backline alive a bit more.
Yeah, I think Alistar Rakan also both good options. I do like Graves, Kalista, Azir, especially when you see the Olaf. You can you're obviously killing first target, right? So you just have to peel back, and you kind of have this like triple pumper with this Gardner around in front. So very standard competition, and I think Barrack needs to find good angles in these team fights. Yeah. We saw the Olaf last game. Got out of lane very strong, but didn't really find the best angles. So let's see if Barrack can navigate that mid game a little bit better.
Also, I just realized how dumb I am. I was talking about like the flexibility of Olaf, and there's a Vi pick the whole time. Sometimes the brain doesn't always work, you know.
Skytech did that in the past.
True, but I would expect that with the Kalista more so. All right, so I think, Guard, before we toss it a break, we're going to do the same thing before. We're going to pick your brain, kind of looking at this draft so far. What is standing out so far with the drafts from each team?
Red side, they have to kill the carries. So blue side's going to have a higher damage output, so they have to kill Azir, Kalista, or Graves off the initial engage. And blue side is just very standard. You have your front line, you have your triple DPS in the back. You're playing dragon fights, you're playing barons, you're playing objective setup, and the right side is looking for skirmishes. So yeah.
Yeah, very fair. But we're going to toss to a break so we can get ready for our second game here at the Supernova Combine, the worst generation. Make sure you stick around after this break. Hello, hello. Welcome back in. We're here for our second game of our Combine. We have everyone loaded up onto the Rift. Kind of going for the line of scrimmage. Nobody going for anything fancy. No shenaniganeries today. I'm hoping at one of these games in this Combine, we'll see people go for the level 1s here, RMC.
Okay, maybe we don't get level 1s, Magical, but
No, level 1s!
I suspect we're still going to get some early action, because in this Combine, we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time.
That's why we get level 1s. Just full on, just full send it. Let's go. This is what I want.
Okay, if we were to have a level 1, which side do you think would walk away from this?
Blue.
With the win? Be Fallen Drakes, okay?
Yeah, 100%. You have Skarner, you have Rel, you just go for it.
True.
I think
Graves too.
that pretty much you have so much here that works really well for it. That if you look what's there for Hearts on Air, they have Alistar to disengage. Then if Cloud wanted to, they could go for the Charm, which you don't want to have, which could be a difficult proposition to have it on top of that. So I think that if I were to have a level 1, it would be the blue side.
Fair enough. Now, I do hope in Combines that we don't actually see too many level 1s unless the team's that confident in it, because I hate to see teams kind of coin flip a game at level 1 and then just kind of...
Oh, see, I like seeing teams coin flip at level 1. That's the difference between you and I. I'm a play-by-play, and I like fights.
True, but this is a Combine, so I'd like to see their skill.
And you're a color caster, and you like analysis. This is why colors and play-by-plays are perfect, because we're complete opposites. We want different things when it comes to games.
Okay, up top we're seeing Barry kind of run down Decoy a little bit
here.
Yeah,
this is kind of the issue that you have as Skarner. And he went for the phase rush here, meaning he had to have Seismic Bastion, the W, first, just to get a little bit more clear, get the shield out a little bit better, which you're going to struggle up against Barrick. And this is kind of why I will constantly advocate that you need to go Hail Blades on Skarner, especially like if you're going to go top lane or jungle. Having Hail Blades, getting that Q, it is so much damage that people just don't understand. And then you stack up your passive immediately. The quaking burn that you get, the damage over time that you have from that is really nice. And so I understand that Decoy wanted to be safer in this lane. That's why you see the Doran's Ring. Phase Rush, probably going to go for the Riftmaker straight tank build after that. But I'm going to always be an advocate. Hail of Blades. You can go Heartsteel on top of that, so you have the extra bursts of damage. These are kind of things I want to see more as time progresses and people get a little bit more comfortable with Skarner.
Fair enough, and we'll see whether or not that comes through. So far, we've seen a press the attack and now the phase rush. I will say I'm personally not a fan of the phase rush into the Olaf as well, just because, especially since Barrick is running Ghost Flash, I don't think the phase rush is going to save in these sort of like
no, it's just to get distance, you know. It's just to clear from range the shields you get. You don't actually get a larger shield from going for AP. You get a larger amount of damage that you get for the shockwave, but the shield is based off of health.
Okay, for now though, we have to keep an eye on the bot lane. Cryer has snuck into the bush. Actually took him a while to get here, and they want to make this work.
I mean, there's nothing really that he's losing. Look at the map. I mean, he already fully cleared. Got everything, so the only thing he's lost out on is going to be on to the Scuttle Crab, but he saw that they do have Shimmer in the spot lane, but Cryer has been spotted out. So now it is forcing Shimmer into the bot lane. Everyone kind of reset. They get the knockup. The flash in with the Vault Breaker. Does get the dash away, but Cryogen didn't even have to burn the flash. The arrow didn't do enough damage onto Cryogen while Muzi took a beating themselves. And having already lost out on 2 summoners, actually technically 3, because Shimmer did flash for that. But it's going to be a net win for our Fallen Drakes.
Yeah, really well played from Cryogen to kind of hold that. And for Shimmer as well, I understand the CC chain. I think it's a good call from Blackbeards. And hey, as you mentioned, for Shimmer, like you're just down there anyways, might as well kind of force the gank. So we'll have to see if Fallen Drakes are able to take advantage of that. We do see the full reset from Minori B and Muzi as well, whereas Cryogen and Sushi are actually sticking around here. They want to shove the one last wave in.
We got to see a little bit top lane, right? The kind of the power that you have here as the Skarner up against Olaf. Once you have a couple levels built up onto your W, going for the W max, you get a good amount of damage. It's actually kind of absurd, the amount of magic damage you get. It will eventually fall off when you go for the AP build, but it's really funny to watch. It's really funny to see how much you can clear out the waves efficiently, the poke you can get onto Barrick, and Barrick already at 50%. Having to recall without DP This could actually be rough, and I was expecting that maybe Cryo would stick onto the Void Grubs, but I think with mid lane getting pushed back by Titan, they decide to not invest too much attention to that, and maybe just wait if they can force Barrack fully out of the lane.
And having the Olaf topside is always risky as well. Shimmer pulls off the gang topside and then rotates down. Maybe you get one Void Grub, but you lose potentially multiple members as well. So I think it's respectful play from Fallen Drakes. I don't hate it. What I'm very curious about actually is Barrack's back got cancelled by Decoy. And Decoy did already have the advantage of using their TP earlier. I feel like trying to shut down an Olaf early is a very viable strategy.
Oh, Decoy actually could fight this one. He's got Ixtal's impact. I'm surprised he hasn't popped it. There's going to be the Ghost. There's going to be the Shockwave. Then Ragnarok on the other side, but with Kryra already here, trying to run him down, but Skarner cutting it back, throws a rocket in, flash forward. People not helping out. The Quaking, though, helps pick up first blood for Kryra.
Well, magical. That right there is why Decoy was hesitating. Even with Kryra backing him up, he almost dropped one more axe, would have taken him. And unfortunately for Kryra, that means you get 2 Void Grubs. Couldn't quite finish it. Meanwhile, Shimmer is going to get this dragon and have first move into your jungle.
No, I'll take that. If I'm on Fallen Drakes, you get the first kill for Kryra. You took down Olaf, and you didn't lose Decoy. It was a sliver of health there. So close to going down. And now he's gone back. He's actually gone for the Bramble Vest as the first item. He's not even going to go for that Riftmaker build that I was kind of alluding to that you could possibly go for. He's just going to go straight tank. Say, all right, pull up the Volibear top lane build where you have only that AP for the initial lane phase, and then you go straight tank after that. That way, you're going to be a lot more useful for the rest of the game.
And I like it as well because you do have the TP advantage, right? As long as Barrack can't regenerate, there's always set up for potential ganks later, whether it be from Kryra or even from Papa in the mid lane, kind of roaming up bot side. We are seeing, though, Inori did get punished a little bit by Cryogen. Good ward will spot Kryra coming down, and you have to be careful of that because Graves has such high burst. Kryra, not level 6 yet, doesn't have the ult available, but once it is, bot lane's very dynamic.
And in fact, sticking out on those that Gromp, but look at this. Rotation, flash, Kryra. A little too late. That's going to be the drop connecting. They've got Chain of Corruption, flash forward from Cryogen, but the dash away with the Spirit Rush keeps him alive. Asushi gets put it back to get the Ren and pick up the kill. Pulls back in with the Fate Call, but uses the wrong way. Muzi survives. Cryogen making sure at least they take more into the dirt with the, because they knew a double kill was inevitable.
But that was such a good collapse in from Blackbeard, and I love the fact that Muzi just started moving out as soon as they realized, hey, Kryra's in here, Shimmer's in the area. We absolutely win this. And Inori from over the wall as well. That long range sort of Chain of Corruption landing was what kind of equalized that bot side. And now we're seeing a bit of a split kind of map happen here where Decoy got the early advantages top side, but Inori and Muzi are getting the advantages bot side.
And I think that's going to work out really well when we get towards this mid game, especially because it is actually it's going to be the on hit here for VAR. It's not going to be quite that poke that we were expecting to be, but Kryra get found out by Shimmer. But no ult there. Does get charmed, but barely was able to get away using a good buffer with the ult. And Shimmer now caught in a bad spot. Rend for Sushi. They get the knockback on a Muzi. Muzi, there's only going to be one way that you're going to get out of this one. The cow is going to be turned into Sushi after all.
Bit of a doozy then for the side of Blackbeard. I liked the idea, but unfortunately, positioning kind of didn't work. That animation looked like he got stuck in the wall for a second to tunnel his way through.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, because he picked up the rock right as he was channeling the Ixtal's impact. So it's really funny when you have that. It's kind of a weird animation cancel. It's like, oh, well, I don't know what to do here. I'm just gonna do nothing.
I mean, eventually did make it over the wall, but it's just. Yeah, the animation.
I'll talk about the animation. The animation's just gonna be like it's the T-pose thing where when it doesn't know what to do, it just T-poses, but it's Skarner. So Skarner does it. What would you call it? Like an X pose? Is it with Skarner?
Trident? I don't even. How does a Scorpion?
Trident pose? Yeah, maybe Trident. I think is more appropriate. Yeah, or we could just call it a fork.
True.
Yeah. I don't know, but either way, we are seeing that Fallen Drakes starting to get some of these advantages, especially around Sushi, and kind of looking reminiscent of what we saw last game for them, right? When we saw Sushi play, it was a lead in the bot lane is 3-1. Even though Inori 2-0, it's gotten a good amount of farm, got a good amount of kills, they're struggling As we get towards some of these fights, going to be the Chain of Corruptions onto Cryogen, but he's going to use the Magnetor, the flash away from Nori B to survive. But they got a stun. Shimmer now under attention there from Cryo. Tries to dash back, but right into Sushi, who gets a Ren killing spree.
Yeah, and even though it's only the one kill for Sushi, Cryo not quite able to find that one. Papa kind of hunting right now, but Titan should be able to zone them off.
Yeah.
I do want to highlight the fact that despite the fact it's only the one kill for Sushi, Sushi did such a good job zoning out the rest of the team. In fact, Inori B couldn't finish the kill onto Cryogen because of Sushi zoning them out, and that's why Shimmer almost had to overcommit to finish that one to confirm the kill and then get picked up.
And being a trade that is pretty much trading up for the side of Fallen Drakes. A 4th kill for Sushi. The jungle traded for the support. You're loving that one. And the fact that, as you talked about, Inori B kind of was zoned away, so they were forced to get out of the lane early, which meant they couldn't get the farm. That got crashed into the turret. A plate was picked up by Sushi, so he comes back into lane with the Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah, and now that bot lane's gonna get so much tougher. We're seeing a lot of roams out to the mid lane, and I love that Paul and Drakes are actually doing a really good job kind of covering and shading it. They're playing defensively on that one, so it is Blackbeards who are kind of taking more time and investing more effort to make this work. And with this bot lane, with Sushi having the advantage, I'm not sure I like that too much, because I think this time they choose a good roam timing. But if Inori B is ever left alone with Sushi, I don't fancy his odds.
Who, Sushi or Inori B? Because I fancy Sushi's. Okay, I was about to say, I fancy Sushi's trades there, but Barrick going for this trade against Decoy. Decoy, you wanted it at first, but you didn't want it afterwards. Then he flashed back, the turret, the burn from Quaking, not enough. We go to the bot lane, they get the knock up on the Cryogen, but he's got the crash down. This is going to be a cleanse from Sushi. Fights away, but they pull it back in. Papa out of nowhere, Magnet Storm takes out the kill. But Cryogen's low, had to flash back. They got at least season to 6, but no, it is all Sushi. He is eating well in this game.
And Inori B just doesn't have enough damage to finish any of this. Even here.
Does he? Oh, because that looked a little dicey. Oh, getting the failed dash over the wall, but it actually worked out for Cryogen because we saw that Titan thought that the Crashdown was going to be over the wall, so he threw out the charm to connect, but missed it because it didn't go over.
So close, and so unfortunate for the Blackbeards as well. They are actually fighting pretty much dead even in a lot of these fights, but they can't quite finish. The damage spread is just too wide, and Fallen Drakes, they are winning out the kills. They're getting the gold. Sure, great in RB. You got 1 plate. They got 2 kills.
Yeah, and I will say this is going to be at least something nice for Blackbeards, is the fact that this is going to be the 2nd dragon of the game. They get some plates in bot lane for Inori B, kind of catching up a little bit in the gold. It is still 1,200 for Sushi over him, but getting that 2nd dragon, they can start playing for some of this dragon stacking into the game. And what dragon do we got? We have Hex Gates. Ooh, that's a really good one, especially when you opt to go for the on hit here for Varus.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very effective against Kalista as well. Being able to slow her means a much easier potential later team fight as well. She's not mobile enough to dodge out. So the big question to me is whether Blackbeards can actually stack those dragons. Fallen Drakes are still winning these fights. Cryra doesn't get
good fight. Good fight there from Shimmer. He was hoping to just steal that away before Shimmer realized, but Shimmer on point with the smite. We're going to the bot lane, crash down onto Muzi. Has no unbreakable will, has to flash forward, realizing that's their play, but he died first. They got a lot of damage though. Inori B, this is the show up as he's got the item completed, and they chase down Cryogen, give it a double kill to Inori B.
Finally, Magical. This is what they've been hunting for in this bot lane this entire time. And now with the Blade of the Ruin King completed for Inori B, actually able to get enough damage to finish that one off. Unfortunately, 14-10. Just barely missed getting the plates on this turret.
And just barely missed it out. But honestly, these are good things for Blackbeards right now. They've got 4 kills, and it's kind of funny. We're looking at this bot lane. We kind of highlighted it before because we saw Sushi game 1 against Levitate was a hype matchup, and now we're seeing that pretty much just a new opponent for Sushi, but same hype matchup. Inori B, 4-0 on this Varus. He's getting himself back in the game. They're able to get the turret in bot lane too. So that 1,000 gold lead that would once been there for Sushi, completely made up, as there's the pick here on to Papa, forced to use the Emperor's Divide and just the dash away, just to make sure that he didn't fall in the spot lane.
Now, I do want to highlight there's something different between the 80 carry matchup this game versus last game. Last game was gold skill in James versus Zeri. This time, Sushi with the Kalista is expected to win early. He will not do as much damage.
Very true.
As an on-hit therapist. So, Sushi did well early. But if you're starting to die to an B now, that does not spell good news for the side of Fallen Drakes. And I kind of want to see the other people step up a little bit. Kryra had such a good game last game on that Kindred. Heck, even this game, 8 out of 9 kill participation is certainly doing a lot. But Papa and Decoy, I know sure Decoy, you're on a Skarner, and you're building tank Skarner, not sort of carry Skarner. But I'd love to get to see a little bit more of their mechanics and their carry potential within this game so far.
I'll tell you right now, Tank Skarner's still going to do a lot of damage. It's going to happen as Papa does get charmed, put down the turret here, the Sun Disc, but they're bouncing him around. Dashes, and the TP's completed for Decoy, keeping him pinned underneath this Sun Disc, but with Titan and Muzi there, they're just taking down this damage, taking out the Sun Disc, and Nori B is showing up as well for the knockback with Charm combo. No escape there for Skarner.
And we asked for Decoy and Papa to step up. They stepped up in lane, but not in game. And unfortunately, they get taken down right there. This bot side going to continue pushing. Inori B is here just in time to just absolutely shred these turrets.
Look at this. Wow, there's enough minions. I think they get it. And now Cryogen kind of realizing, wait a minute, do I want to stick around? Do we want to go for the fight? You can tell there's the apprehension from the team, but they are making the call. That's going to be the TP from both sides of the mid lane. They have a little bit of damage. Cryogen doesn't get the stun, but does have the Magnet Storm onto Titan. No Spirit Rush, no Flash for Ari. Pull back in. Going to be the sacrificial Fox as they get a shutdown for Sushi.
But while all this is happening, Barrett continues to split push in that top side, gets the turret, and I don't think Fallen Drakes can look for this dive.
They might be able to, actually. Papa has Emperor's Divide back up. That was used before. They got Rift Herald, so they can actually look for this play in the bot lane. Shimmer tried to stop the fight as he got the assault in the back line, but dies for it. Collateral damage bursting down as Boosie's so low, but Inori B's too scary. Hopping onto the back of Shelly. They want to get the knock-up. Get a little bit of damage. Flash in. Double kill with a run triple for Sushi. While top lane Decoy did fight against Barrack. Keeps him away from the turret for now, so the team can keep getting gold in bot lane.
That was such a clutch one there on the bot side. It felt like it was on a knife's edge. Inori B almost managed to finish them off, but getting knocked up by the Herald Magical, that was the beginning of the end for that play, because the CC chain that came through Cryogen was just ready and waiting. You can dodge out all you want on Cryogen, but if you get hit by that Herald, that's set up.
I think that was so wise from Cryogen too. I was thinking, okay, the obvious play, take the Rift Herald, charge into the turret, try to get rid of that so there's no safety. They don't have that cushion to get away. And he's like, no, CC onto Inori B. We get the kill onto Varus before he can do anything. Like you talked about, the CC was just too long because you had that, and then Rel afterwards, Shattering Strike to keep him locked down forever. It was a really good call, and this is why this support's really standing out to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Cryogen, not somebody who was, huge on my radar prior to this, but so far in the first 2 games has been epic. Changing Corruption.
Changing Corruption with the charm. Cryogen half dash back out of there. They could re-engage with the body block from Kyra, and Decoy took the Exil's impact with the impale onto 2, but they didn't get there to get the kill. He does lose his life. Top laners are both dead. Cryogen Magnet Storms onto the cow, but the punch away will be a trade of 2 for 1 at the moment. The chase there. Shimmer looking for Kryra as he continues to kite back with a slow from the red buff. Gets him a little bit of distance, but the charm connects here on a pop-up from Titan. We have a split fight across the map. It does seem that is going to be Blackbeard's coming out ahead of this one.
Yeah, Fallen Drakes has to be careful. The cease and desist is already back up from Shimmer, and wisely they back away. That's going to be Soul Point going the way of Blackbeards.
X-Tech Soul Point. That is huge here for the side of Blackbeards. We were talking about it before where we're saying how the bot lane, it was looking good. You had the early play, the early pressure there from Sushi in the bot lane. Granted, he is still 11-2 on Kalista. That is a very fed ADC. But you're now at Soul Point. It's a Hex-Tech Soul for on-hit Varus. You have to fight over that 4th dragon, and that means you know where you're going to have to be in about 5 minutes' time. Same with Blackbeards, they know where you have to be, because if you do not stop that going over, that alone can win the game.
And Magical, Thinkard kind of set it up earlier in draft as well. The fact that Blackbeard's composition is really good at shutting down a single target. So for Fallen Drakes, wait, Cryogen? Did he actually just steal that?
Oh my god, he did. And now there's the fight. Shimmer realizing we gotta get something. I can't just lose this. Sushi kiting it away, but it does get the rend. It does pick up a jungle for jungle. But they have a little bit of damage there on the Cryogen. Decoy, at least creating a little bit of distance. Chain of Corruption didn't land, but the Undertow certainly did. So again, a 2-for-1 trade, trading up here for the side of Blackbeards.
Baron literally just spawned in right now, but Shimmer being down means no smite, and frankly, at this stage of the game.
Oh no, it's the buff transfer. That's what it was. That's what it was. Because Shimmer lost the buff to Cryogen, right? Well, Anori B killed the Cryogen, so now Anori B has the red buff.
Well, but the problem is, at this point in the game, normally, like, your pet's already completed. So Shimmer could have got it, and an REV could have completed it. It is a buff transfer, but...
Ruins a buff transfer.
I don't know, I feel like there's some caster math going on in this game. That's all I'm saying.
Is buff transfer. Alright, well. Kind of wild here in this mid game. But it's still actually, surprisingly, Gold slightly favoring the side of Fallen Drakes. Right, and a lot of that is going to be Sushi and Kryra at this point, having sizable leads. And despite the fact that Anori B has been doing a good job of at 7-1, you think, oh man, that bar's so far ahead. That is going to be a 1v9 champion. Then you look at Sushi, 11-3, 1,500 gold above Anori B still.
Well, the question is still whether Sushi is going to be able to leverage that in these fights, right? I'm looking at Shimmer and Titan. Last game, these two didn't have the best of times in the team fights. This time, your job is to shut Sushi down, and if you can't do that, I think it'll be enough. Barrick has been wrecking the back line. Sure, he didn't get any kills and he did die, but he actually managed to zone almost everybody else out.
Yeah.
And hey, if you create that space for Anori B, as long as Kryra and Sushi aren't there, I don't think Papa out damages Anori B in that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's all about creating space here. And speaking of creating space, looking for Sushi. Chain of Corruptions does connect, and they burst him down. There's that shutdown for Anori B. Get right back in this game. Decoy. Ixil's impacted into that one. Was able to barely not get connected by that charm. But losing out on your Callista, I'm surprised we don't just see an immediate call here to go onto that Baron for Fallen Bandit. I know, for Blackbeards.
I think that's still really scary at this point in the game. We're only 22 minutes in. Baron can do a lot of damage, and he has a lot of health. Not to mention, as long as you can shut down Anori B, it's kind of a similar situation. Sure, you don't have as good tools on the side of Fallen Drakes to shut down that AD carry, but in a Baron pit, when you're stuck in there, I think that is one of the few situations where your immobile carries become very, very
true. But there's a third item that has now been completed by Anori B, and has already had that Terminus in the inventory. So a little bit, deceptively tanky. Not as easy to burst down as you normally would think when it comes to Varus, especially someone as mobile as Varus. That I think as long as you were talking about it, Shimmer and Titan. The last game, we wanted to see more of how they were able to play some of the fights. I feel like their KDA isn't really showing the whole story of what they've been able to cause in a lot of these fights, because all the attention is on Anori B with how good he's been playing on this Varus. But how they've been looking for these picks with the cease and desist into charm combo, the wombo combo, the reason why you pick Vi and Ahri together has been perfect to really create chaos in this back line for Fallen Drakes.
Yeah, even the last pick wasn't even Shimmer into Titan. Shimmer just pulled the trigger at the right time, and Anori B was there. There's enough damage to shred that Callista. So you're right, those two right now, we're looking at them as more facilitators rather than carries. And for the side of Fallen Drakes, I'm curious who's going to be kicking things off for them. Cryogen's been doing the bulk of the job, but at this time, it's kind of getting a little bit scary, and I feel like you need some sort of secondary engage or immediate follow-up to be able to maximize Cryogen, or he's dead before the fight really kicks off.
Well, we'll see how this is going to go, because at the moment, 15 seconds until that dragon. Well, as we said, we knew where Fallen Drakes had to be. They have to contest this dragon. Less than the Hextech Soul be picked up and secured by Blackbeard. But look at what Barrick's been doing this whole time. He's not even in the bot lane. He's waiting for the flank.
Yep, and by now, I'm sure Fallen Drakes knows that Barrick is threatening a flex. But there's no vision. Oh, it comes out too late. That Drake's already gone.
Yeah, the Drake's gone. So a little bit too late there. They have to fall back. Maybe look for that as Papa is separated from the team. Same with Barrick, but they've got Ixil's impact onto one. They're going to put their attention as Barrick dives onto Kryra, getting the flash away, but he uses the collateral damage and does it all the while. They got Anori B, the flash away. Titan gets a shield, but they've got Shimmer locked down. The kill for Decoy with Quaking as they get 2 for 1. This time it's traded up by the Fallen Drakes.
Barrick trying to run. I don't think he can get away.
He doesn't have Ragnarok, doesn't have Flash, doesn't have Ghost. He has easy pickings there for Papa.
And Fallen Drakes kind of back so well there from the side of Blackbeard. Blackbeards, they wanted to engage. It felt like they just underestimated how quickly Sushi could take that objective. That dragon shredded so early. By the time the blue trinket came down, it was gone. Yeah, sure, it shows 4,000 health, but don't forget all the spears that could be rendered by Sushi.
Yep.
So the actual health bar is so much lower now. Did Papa overstay?
Oh yeah, Papa, he definitely overstayed here. That's gonna be 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash, 4. as they got Papa
Still
going
flash.
golden. But it's a short cooldown. I'm actually surprised they didn't fully commit there just to get the kill onto Papa. But Papa, he's got the crabs and he's okay. He's out of there.
Yeah, perfect to be able to dot out the charm. There wasn't enough CC to lock him in there. And as long as that flash is up, I wasn't too worried about Papa getting caught. Now with the Zonias completed, we'll have to stats again. Cryogen.
Maybe getting caught out. Has to go for the crash down, but Chain of Corruption's landed and you're dead. That's just what's going to happen there. Anytime that Chain of Corruption lands here from Minori B, he's going to execute someone who's pretty squishy there like that Rel.
Okay, 25.5 minutes. Do we have enough damage to do
I think
Varus?
so.
This is on the Varus.
I definitely think so. It's been spotted out, but there's a TP from Titan. We'll be TPing into it. A decoy wants to get into the pit, but they don't have that engage anymore from Cryogen. Down to 50%. They gotta get Kryra into the pit, but Muzi giving a lot of attention. The engage keeps Kryra away, and they're looking to take down the backline of Shimmer. She's an assist. It is on to Sushi, but he's still getting it back, trying to heal up. We'll trade 2 for 1. They've got the heal too. Titan, you might have landed the charm onto Papa, but he's got the shred. With the pull back in. They've got everybody, and it's gonna be Fallen Drakes making sure that Blackbeards are the ones to fall.
Papa's back from Vine Milk and he's got the shovels rolling, and this is why we talked about how dangerous doing Baron was gonna be for Blackbeard. Sure, you had more people, sure, you have the damage, but at the same time, you see that they corralled into the pit and they don't really have that good a way to deal with Decoy running at you at a static position, and with that, Fallen Drakes, they force it back into their favor once again. Know if we've lost Magical, potentially. But yeah, with this push, well, with the Baron buff in pocket, we'll have to see what the Fallen Drakes can actually look to achieve with this. Oh, Magical, you're back?
Am I back? Oh, I think my internet just dropped for a second. Oof. There we go. We got it fixed. Okay. Sorry, I was saying stuff. I'm like, yeah, it feels like this might be the straw that broke the camel's back here for Blackbeards, because it was a close game, teetering back and forth. But now we are at this point where I feel like you got Papa, as you said, he's back from buying milk. He's looking pretty strong. Oh, is he going to get caught out there? Actually, could have been worse there for Shimmer had they realized that Shimmer was in that brush.
Yeah, I think Fallen Drakes were fully aware of it, Shimmer.
Charm. Kryra, actually, he was taking up the turret. Wow! Hi, Shimmer.
It's all Mirage. Barrick is just continuing to push the top side this entire time, by the way. So for Blackbeards, they're just trying to buy time. I don't know if Shimmer dying was worth it. Your base racing up against a Baron up team.
Right. I think it works out to get at least some gold. You do get the turret in that top lane. But as you said, it's like you have to go back. You can't continue that push. I was wondering if Kryra actually going to stop the back there from Barrick too, who doesn't have TP. Means the siege is going to be very successful here for Fallen Drakes.
If anything, I think Fallen Drakes was actually actively looking for the fight right there, because there's no Shimmer. So there's no point and click onto Sushi right now.
No Shimmer and no Barrick.
True. Yeah, and that means it's Titan solo who has to try and burst out Sushi. I don't fancy those odds as the Ahri. Ahri is kind of a linear champion and can't really get past a crowd. We're actually seeing a TP from Papa down here to try and go for this drag. This is only second Drake for Fallen Drakes.
Yeah, but they got to make sure that it's still denying the soul, right? It's all about denying that soul. Hextech would be huge. So as long as they can make sure that's not going to go the other way. But there's that charm to deny the dash there from Skarner. The Titan was able to get back towards the turret, but the fact that he has to go back, he doesn't have the TP up yet. There's going to be the peel back for Fallen Drakes. They should secure this dragon with these.
I don't know. Fallen Drakes looks like they want to fight this. Shimmer is deep in there, but there's no backup right now.
Wait a minute. Oh, no! Oh, he tried. I understand the play. It was so close, but no cigar.
Yeah, I respect the call right there. You're not going to lose a Baron off the back of that necessarily. Baron buff itself is going to wear out shortly, so Fallen Drakes, they're not going to get that huge a push. And for Blackbeards, unfortunately, this is the state that they've been reduced to. They are 6,000 gold down. The sort of shutdown Sushi strategy didn't work. And if you look at that gold, Papa has caught back up at this point. Kryra continues to be a huge monster, especially when you compare to what Shimmer is able to achieve in these fights right now.
Yeah, I mean, Shimmer's got one job, right? And that is diving into the back line, lock in Sushi, and die. You're pretty much, you have one singular purpose as Vi once you get to this point in the game. You're not going to do enough damage to kill Sushi, You're really just trying to set up a Nori B and Titan to do all the damage and do all the work.
Yeah, and we'll have to see whether or not they're actually able to do that. And I guess that's the problem, Mad Magical, right now, is that there's too many threats and too many carries. So Shimmer's one job is now Shimmer's three jobs. There's so many different people who need to be locked down. And throughout all this, let's not forget, Inori has to survive. While Barrick has been doing a good job split pushing, while Barrick is up gold against Decoy, Barrick is going to struggle to actually kill people. Olaf is not really a late game champion. He's more of a mid game champion. It feels like we're past the spike and starting to hit that fall off point for Olaf.
And I don't know what you can really do here as Blackbeards. It is pretty much you're relying on picks like this still. This is a good pick.
Okay.
This is that's a start. Getting picks like that onto Cryogen is a good start, but unfortunately for them, it's like you get this pick and then what? What do you get afterwards? There's nothing really to play around the map. All you can really hope for is getting some vision control.
And even if there is, I don't remember how you lost Baron. It was a pick onto Cryogen. You had a numbers advantage, and you went for Baron. So the only objective I feel safe for Blackbeards to look for at this point with the numbers advantage is that dragon. Even this push for me feels a little bit scary.
Barrick in the bot lane. Doesn't have TP still. Well, you know, won't have it ever. But that is something that they could probably fall back onto. I'm wondering if Barrick is actually... I would have really liked to see that, like a hull breaker here out of Barrick. Pretty much say there is no way we're winning these fights. We understand that we've gotten to this point where we might have a lot of power out of Titan and Nori B, but my job as Olaf is to keep someone in a side lane. If ever Decoy or Papa isn't dealing with me, perfect. That means I can get more gold for the team, possibly even open up the base.
And to be fair, as much as I say that the Olaf is starting to fall off, I still don't think anybody can match Barrick in a 1v1 in an extended lane.
Exactly. So, it's just a team fights where he's falling off, is what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah. But if you built that hull breaker, my fear is that at that point, Fallen Drake's just brute force the objectives.
Fair point. Because right now they are trying to brute force the fight with the Shattering Strike on Amuzi. He pops the Unbreakable Will, gets back a little bit. They got the Chain of Corruption, but it lands on a Cryogen, who just gets himself out of there with his own crash down. But it is going to be the inside track on a Baron. Fallen Drake's not in a perfect position, actually, to find a full-on fight. We see how low some of the members are, getting a little bit of chip damage, especially on to Papa. But they're just actually going to brute force this turret in mid lane, get some gold. It is going to force the action here of Fallen Drakes afterwards. And do you get out here of Blackbeards? They don't really have a retreat unless they want to take one of the gates. They get the charm to land, but it's again onto Cryogen, so they peel back instead for Decoy. But I feel like that's all a bait because they got the impale, and he's cutting it back with the flash away.
Okay.
And you have to dash back in, trying to get the charm onto Cryra, and that's a lot of damage with a huge snipe there. Barrick in the back line too, making sure Sushi's not a part of the fight. And
Sushi's still alive?
When nobody's on top of him to save him, then it's going to be Blackbeards finding this miracle play as Cryogen has only barely survived. No, he's not a Shimmer. Really wanted to find that pick.
Yeah, Decoy just trying to distract as much as possible. Will pay for it with his little scorpion life. And the Blackbeards, the patience, Mad Magical, from what looked like an irredeemable position. They blew two of their big team fight ultimates. Chains of Corruptions, Unbreakable, wasn't available. But they eventually managed to bait Fallen Drakes out of position. And now Cryogen is desperately trying to buy time again.
He's just trying to cut the wave, so that way you have that 15 seconds that's made up, so Cryra and Sushi will be back up. But unfortunately, you can tell he's just not taking enough to do so. That's going to be the game. I don't think they're going to be respawning in time here for Sushi or Cryra. Blackbeards pulling that one out of nowhere to pick up this game.
Man, Magical, we were just talking about, like Shimmer and Titan. Their comms, their mental, right? Like they were saying, hey, slow things down. We still got this, trying to figure out engage options, how to get back into it. And it feels like this game, they were very much validated. As a whole, the Blackbeards, I think, were very validated. It was such a rough position for them, but because they pulled Fallen Drakes out of position, that was the only way they were ever going to be able to come back from this.
Yeah, and I think a big thing was the fact that, well, we were talking about how Barrick will fall off in a full-on straight-up team fights, right? 5v5s. Yeah. I think how they played that fight was perfect. They split up the fight. It was not a typical front-to-back team fight that would have favored Fallen Bandits. They're like, okay, let's make sure that it's completely split up. Cryogen was the only one trying to peel Barrick, and you're not peeling Barrick. It's just not happening. You need more people. You need Papa trying to put up the wall so that way he can't get on top of Sushi. You need a lot more to make sure that that 12-6 Kalista was going to be able to turn around the fight and win. But with it getting split up like it did, it was well done by Blackbeards to pick up that victory. So everybody, let us know on Twitter who you think of the MVP of that game was. as we wait for everyone's polls and their votes, we're going to toss to a break so we can get ready for our third game. So make sure you stay tuned.